Hi, I'm Professor Steve Wroe. I'm a real paleontologist, and you're watching Real Paleontology. And today, in my Super Predators series, I'm going to talk about bears and tigers again. Now, I totally promise that I won't make a habit of this. It's just that while I was going through the literature researching for my last episode, I came across this pretty recent paper that I think many of you will find of interest. It's entitled A Most Aggressive Bear. Safari videos document sloth bear defense against tiger predation. It's authored by Thomas Sharp and friends and published just last year. Now, we had a rundown on the tiger specs in my last episode looking at Siberian tigers. Obviously, there are some differences between tigers in India and Siberia, but they're not great. Now, obviously, in this instance, we're talking about the Bengal tiger. Its size varies considerably depending on the region. Females from Bangladesh Sundarbans can weigh as little as 75 kilos, while big males from Chitwan National Park in Nepal can weigh up to 270 kilos, or at least they could back in the 1970s. Now, I really don't want to get into an endless debate about the absolute maximum ever recorded size of the Bengal tiger. I'm really just not that interested. All I have to say is that, as with the Siberian tiger, it's unlikely that any of the surviving population exceeds the maximum historical records. But no matter how you wash it, it's a damn big cat. Now, the sloth bear is a curious creature. It feeds mostly on termites and ants with a little bit of fruit on the side. It ranges over much of India and parts of Southeast Asia. It's a medium-sized bear. Females can weigh from 55 to 124 kilos. That'd be 273 pounds. And males from 80 to 192 kilos, or 423 pounds. So clearly, there is a significant overlap in size between the sloth bear and the tiger, but on average, the tiger is clearly larger. So, these termite suckers are not the biggest of bears. I think they look kind of cute, despite the fact that pretty much every day is a bad hair day for the sloth bear. But do not be fooled. Over a recent 5-year period in the Indian state of Madhya Pradesh alone, sloth bears were responsible for 735 attacks on humans, and 48 of these were fatal. This sloth bear here was one of 2 bears responsible for 3 deaths and 1 terrible injury. And although it's widely reported that sloth bears don't kill humans in order to eat them, without looking too hard, I found an example from a story first published in the India Times in June of 2022. Here it was reported that a sloth bear killed a man and wife in central India, minutes away from their home. It was stated that the bear tore their bodies apart and proceeded to devour their remains for at least 4 hours before the police and forestry department arrived. This in further context, brown bears, which of course includes grizzlies, range over 3 continents, yet they are responsible for only 6 fatal attacks per year on humans. In India, the sloth bear kills more people than do tigers, although it has to be said that there are many more sloth bears than tigers. So, we have a pretty good idea of what happens when humans and sloth bears meet up. There is an alarmingly high chance that the human will die. But Sharp and friends wanted to know what happens when sloth bears and tigers collide. This is the question that Sharp and colleagues aimed to answer. And to do so, they conducted an analysis of 43 interactions between sloth bears and tigers that had been captured on film over the previous decade or so. What they found might surprise you. It certainly surprised me. They divided their results into 3 cohorts, depending upon the distance between the bear and the tiger when the bear first noticed the big cat. The immediate take home was that if the bear first noticed the tiger when it was within 3 meters of it, the bear usually reared up on its back legs, fluffed out its shaggy fur coat to look bigger, and then often charged at the tiger. Think about it. I mean, what the? In the majority, and probably all of these cases, the tiger was bigger than the bear. And regardless, the Bengal tiger is one of the deadliest animals on four legs. No two ways about it. On the face of it, this tactic just seems like complete insanity on behalf of the bear. So, what happens next? Well, in 4 of the 43 interactions, things ended very badly for the bear. That is, the bear died. And in another two incidents, the bear was noticeably wounded. But among these 43 interactions, of the 14 wherein the bear first noticed the tiger when it was within 3 meters of it, only one bear was killed. And this was the one bear that didn't rear up and or charge at the tiger. According to Sharp et al., this less aggressive bear was dispatched immediately. In short, the aggressive sloth bears had figured out that attack is the best defense when confronted by a tiger at close quarters, and the less aggressive sloth bear dies. It evidently pays to be fearlessly aggressive if you're a sloth bear and you encounter a tiger at close range. Interestingly, Sharp and friends also observed that if the bear first noticed the tiger at a distance greater than 3 meters but less than 10, the initial reactions of the bear were more variable. Under these circumstances, the bear charged 40% of the time, remained still 40% of the time, and fled 20% of the time. The three encounters where the bear noticed the tiger at a distance of over 10 meters, in one instance, the bear charged and the tiger made a quick exit, and in the other two instances, nothing much seems to have gone down. Anyway, clearly, the bear often shirt fronted the big cat, and I don't care who you are, it takes very big cojones to charge a Bengal tiger. In a number of cases, the bear actually chased the tiger away, although there was no attempt to actually catch it, and in none of these cases was the tiger obviously hurt. Nonetheless, I think we can fairly identify the sloth bear as kind of the honey badger or wolverine of the bear world. That said, clearly the bear's uber aggressive attitude isn't fail-safe. In this sample, there was almost a 10% death rate for the bear, and a further two received obvious injuries. In some parts of the tiger's range, sloth bears are a small but regular component of the big cat's diet, being found in around 2% of tiger scats. So, what are we to make of all this? Well, Sharp and friends have a theory. They reckon that as a consequence of the bear's termite digging lifestyle, relative to other bears, sloth bears have fewer avenues for escape and are less likely to detect a nearby tiger than any other bear species. Claws, which are well adapted for digging, are crap for climbing, and because the bear spends much of its day scratching and snorting away at ant and termite mounds, it's more likely that the tiger can get up close before being observed. So its options are limited. At close quarters, the bear certainly can't out-accelerate the big cat, and if it runs, its chances of survival are not that great. But if it arcs up and charges, the chances are pretty good that the big cat will leave to find prey that's not so much like hard work. And as Sharp and friends point out, the chances of the tiger being hurt by the bear aren't great, but they're not zero. Although not actually observed, there was a pretty convincing account of a big sloth bear killing a tiger reported in the India Times in 2019. What bearing do these results have with respect to we humans? Well, the recommendation from Sharp and colleagues, at least in the event that this happens at close quarters, is to lay down and curl up in a ball. The bear probably doesn't want to eat you, but then there is a chance that it does. Another salient point is that a group of people is less likely to be attacked than an individual. So maybe don't go walking through the Indian jungle by yourself. If the tigers don't get you, the sloth bears will. We'll end this little episode here, but I hope you'll consider donating to the tiger and bear conservation groups above. You might also consider liking and subscribing to my little channel.